After watching the manufacturing process of a giant spring for aircraft carriers, I finally understood why these carriers can rise so quickly. Next, let's see how these giant springs are made. A super long square steel bar weighing 1 ton is transported out of the heating furnace. Workers, dressed in thermal clothing, pull the red hot steel with a wrench to the heavy bending machine. Immediately, all the workers in the steel mill spring into action and together lift the high temperature steel bar and place it on the bending equipment. Taking advantage of the heat, they quickly align the steel bar with the bending machine. Once the bar is secured, the workers step back to avoid the high temperature radiation. Then the man most resistant to heat in the factory installs a locking joint on the steel bar, firmly fixing its initial end to the roller. With the steel bar fixed, the bending machine is slowly activated, moving the initial end of the steel to the correct position. 3 workers dressed in aluminum thermal clothing take the lead. Once in place, the bending machine, capable of exerting thousands of tons of force, coils the red-hot steel around the roller. The square steel transforms into a round shape and under the roller's rotation forms the spiral structure of a spring. Soon half of the 10-meter-long steel bar is bent. The workers, with thermal clothing and wrench in hand, rush to the bar and clamp the wrench onto its end, preparing to manually adjust the bending direction. Other workers quickly join to help, and as the bar leaves the transport platform, they press down on the extended lever of the wrench, changing the bending trajectory of the steel with sheer human strength. The workers are not only strong, but also courageous. Facing the intense radiation, they do not retreat even slightly, which is truly inspiring. Finally, with collective effort, even the most difficult to bend end of the steel bar is conquered, and a giant spring is created. Seeing the spring formed, the workers' faces are filled with pride. Next, the giant needs to be removed from the bending machine. One of the workers picks up a large hammer and removes the fixtures that hold the spring in place. Although it is winter, the workshop temperature is comparable to a summer day, especially near the red hot spring, where the heat is unbearable. The surrounding workers are sweating profusely and their faces are red, but this high temperature does not diminish their enthusiasm for the job. The workers endure the heat to dismantle the fixtures and then push a special cart to place the giant spring underneath it. Then, they activate the bending machine, controlling the roller to rotate counterclockwise and release the spring. When the roller is almost in place, they pause the bending machine and all the workers gather at the spring's end, using iron hooks to pull it off the roller. Thus, the giant spring falls into the cart. Immediately, strong young workers pull the cart and run to the next step. They move quickly, taking the giant spring to the quenching area. The rush is due to the need to quench the spring. The next step is to move the spring to the slope ahead. 2 workers on each side use iron pipes to create suspension points. The worker in the middle struggles to attach the hooks, making it difficult for the colleagues holding the iron pipes. At this moment, a young worker in thermal clothing quickly hooks the iron pipe, replacing the exhausted colleague who has reached his heat endurance limit. To be honest, facing a red-hot spring up close without thermal clothing is impossible for more than half a minute. Therefore, it is essential that all workers wear protective equipment to ensure their safety. Finally, the giant spring is placed on the slope without incident. The workers quickly remove the suspension equipment and retreat to a safe area. The red-hot spring rolls down the slope and into the water pool, creating waves and instantly sinking. The quenching process is completed, although the equipment here is outdated, like from a factory in the 1980s. With these simple tools and our strong workers, we managed to manufacture giant springs that can be used in aircraft carriers. Here, we pay tribute to every hard-working worker.